In today's quick video, I'm going to show you how you can get started improvising, even if you've never done it before, and even if you're a total beginner on your instrument. There's a common misconception out there that before you could even attempt to improvise, you need to know all your scales and all your keys and lots of music theory and harmony. And lots of musicians practice and play their instrument for years, chained to sheet music, and never even try to play freely. I myself took piano lessons and saxophone lessons for many years before anyone even introduced me to the concept or the idea that I could improvise. And by that time, I was so chained to reading sheet music and dependent on it that the thought of creating my own music was terrifying. So if you're like me, and you started out being limited to reading sheet music, or if you're a beginner and you want to get off on the right foot and you don't want to be constrained by always having to read sheet music to express yourself on your instrument, this is for you. We're going to learn a very simple way to practice improvising that anyone can do, no matter what your level is on your instrument. It also happens to be the very same method that accomplished improvising musicians use all the time and practice all the time. Step number one is to choose our limitations. We don't want to have too many choices, especially in the beginning working on improvising, because that can lead to chaos. By limiting ourselves, we force ourselves to focus on the things that we want to improve. So in this example, we're going to limit ourselves to only 3 notes. So no matter what level you are on your instrument, you can play 3 notes. And the notes we're going to play today are G, B flat, and C. If you're playing tenor saxophone, those notes are going to be A, C, and D after you transpose. And on alto saxophone, those notes will be E, G, and A. Step 2 is going to be to choose our mode of accompaniment. This can be a backing track, it can be a song, a recording that you like, it can be just the metronome by itself, it could be nothing at all. You could just play freely with no accompaniment. For today, what we're going to do is we're going to play over a drum loop, and I'll make this available to download for everybody with a link at the end of the video. Step 3 is to start improvising in this sandbox that we've created for ourselves to play in. I want you to start out by playing long notes and by leaving long pauses between the things you play. Don't try to do too much. That's very important. Make your own music and take your time with it. You don't have to try to impress anyone yet. Focus on playing in sync rhythmically with the accompaniment. Since we're only playing 3 notes, we don't really have to worry so much about what our fingers are doing. We really want to focus on rhythm here and improve our ability to create our own rhythms that are in good time. Experiment with this, and when you're ready for a change, go ahead and change the restrictions we've placed on ourselves. You can change the number of notes you allow yourself to improvise with. You can change the choice of notes. You can change the mode of accompaniment. You can change the tempo. Your options here are limitless. You can do whatever you want. You could even take off all restrictions and just play completely freely. But remember that it's the limitations that we place on ourselves that kind of force us to focus on improving aspects of our playing. And it keeps us from having the natural tendency to kind of become a bit incoherent with the music. This method of practicing improvisation is basically the same sort of thing that very advanced, accomplished musicians do when they practice improvising. Of course, the more technical skill and ability you've got on your instrument, the better you'll be able to express yourself. And that's why we practice scales and arpeggios and long tones and all the technical things that we work on. So there's no reason that anybody shouldn't improvise even from day one of picking up an instrument. Once you can play a few notes, you are ready to improvise. So no matter what stage you are with your instrument and your ability, I hope you take this starting point that I've given you and start incorporating the practice of improvising into everything else that you're practicing. So if you're practicing scales or practicing learning pieces of music, that's great. But at the end of a practice session, there's nothing to stop you from saying, you know what, I'm just going to play freely and enjoy it. Improvising is fun and liberating, and there's nothing to be afraid of here. If you're afraid of playing the wrong thing, wrong notes, or wrong rhythms, or whatever, an easy solution for that is to create for yourself a set of limitations like I've demonstrated here that keep you in your comfort zone. So just make it so that you can't really play anything that you're not good at. And that avoids the fear of playing the wrong thing. Once you get more comfortable and the fear kind of subsides, then you can have fun with the risk-taking and being a bit more adventurous. If you want to learn more about improvising and playing music by ear without the constraints of sheet music, head over to BetterSax.com. I've got some great free resources for you there. Click the link on the screen to sign up for my Play Sax by Ear crash course. It's entirely free to enroll in. If you like this video and got some value out of it, please let me know by clicking the like button and subscribing. And while you're here, go check out some of my other saxophone videos.